Welcome back to my beautiful family of light and love, you wonderful soul beings sharing this earth walk with me. I want to thank you and for joining me and welcome to my channel. My name is Claudia Garaba. And this particular, what I want to visit with you a little bit about today is the first 3 chapters and just the notes that I made regarding spiritual awakening and moving from somebody who knows nothing about the soul to believing that you are a soul having this wonderful human experience. Well, for some of us, it's been a challenge, that's for sure. But there's been good moments that keep you going. So the first thing I want to do is just visit with you a little bit about chapters 1 and 2. And in those chapters, what I want you to be aware of is, and this is just really for focus, avoid getting caught in the story. This whole business, my life is my story. Your life is yours. You've got highs and lows and wonderful in-betweens and some exciting things and some things that you really wish had not happened at all. We are during this time in our lives and at this moment trying to remember what is the driving force behind your life. Who are we? Why are we here? What in the world is going on? And I think most of us, you, me, know that you're here first of all with a purpose. And that's one of your jobs, is to find out what that is, what really motivates you, moves you, has you express through your life in ways that are profound and wonderful and bring you great joy. So avoid getting caught in my story, because it's not about the story. The focus is on what is behind the story. What's really going on here? So my need to know, so this is one of the key points, my personal curiosity is my need to know, and that is how my help becomes possible. So this is a key point, my curiosity. I'm always asking questions, and I talk to, especially now, I know who I'm talking to, but in the beginning, and I think my soul has always been informative, and so when I asked in a way that was an internal asking, I believe I was directly asking of my soul. I wasn't asking a neighbor to tell me the answer to that question, or a best girlfriend, or my husband, or whatever else it was. It was an inner question, and I believe my soul knew that I was attempting to communicate with God. When you have a need to know, you must be fearless. So this is key point number 4. You can't ask and not receive something. And I will tell you that what you're about to receive, the questions that you ask will be answered. They're typically not going to be an answer you expected. And you'll see that if you watch chapters 1 through 3 that I've just completed. You'll see that, my need for a dream brought me a hilarious moment. Behind that, or leading from there, was, you ask for it, you need a dream, it's time for you to step up. So I hope you will get in and pay attention to that. But it leads, once you start taking those steps and you realize that you're going to be asking the questions, the answers will come. And as you take more steps and the answers come, there'll be more questions. The answers are spiritually oriented. They're designed for the aspect of you that knows why you're here, knows what you're supposed to do, knows what you wanted to learn and how you wanted to grow and how you wanted to help. And so the answers aren't going to come in the form of this job or that job, or I mean that may be an aspect of it, but typically our relationships with our employers, with the neighbors, with our families, all are responsible for propelling us into asking the questions. Why did this happen to me? Why is it happening? Why do I need to go through this? Okay, but they are going to be spiritual answers. So for instance, if you are a kind and loving person, let's say, your day-to-day life may involve fear, judgments, cruelty, betrayals, harm of many different kinds. But your spirit is non-judgmental about any of that, about any of your participation or somebody else's. It simply is perhaps what I'll call a motivating factor. But your spirit always provides you with the absolute real truth. When I began having trouble and I said to my spouse that I thought, or my boyfriend at the time, that I thought it would end in destruction, I had no idea that my guidance would give me that back as a is this destructive enough for you? But it was kind and gentle in a way that there's no judgment involved. So the Spirit is kind and loving and only speaks the truth. So if you're having trouble and you're asking, for answers, you're going to feel the difference between who's answering the question and source. Your spirit is connected to in the most loving ways to you. The other thing is that you will experience, it takes small steps. I started this taking notes and exploring where I had come from, where I was at the middle of my life from this moment, if we were to go backwards. I wrote this several years ago, 7 years ago, looking at the middle part of my life where the dramatic changes really started to come in. But I had been questioning myself and asking all those questions I had just mentioned. Who am I? Why am I here? How come I know these things but nobody else seems to? Way early, all throughout my childhood and growing up years. So change will come, transformation will come if you stick with it and have courage. Don't chicken out, be fearless. Okay, the next thing I want to say is that your spiritual guidance and communications are very specific to you. No one else is going to get your guidance because they haven't been what you have been through. There may be similarities. You may have been abused. You may have had, some of the things I've had, which I haven't addressed. And you may have misunderstood, misinterpreted, miss whatever, and we'll get into more of that. But in the time ahead. However, what I really want to say is it's geared to you. You have this inner guidance system that knows exactly every single breath of your life, every moment, every action, and there's no judgment in it. It is designed, this is a guidance system. It's a compass to help keep you on course. It's a guidance system to steer you away from harm, or what I call a slippery slope, so that you are taken care of. And so the stronger the signals and the answers become, and that requires practice and diligence, then your life becomes altered in so many ways. I want to also tell you to avoid blame. Now, one of the things I learned and the lesson with the destructive dream I think that was in chapter 1, was that I had to accept personal responsibility. When we are in the throes of a relationship in this world, it gets emotional, and the emotions get all mixed up and tangled up like a knotted string with other things. When we don't deal with them, they compound upon each other, and pretty soon we don't even know what's what anymore. Do your best. Do your utmost best when you're asking, what is my part in this? What can I do to help shift and change it? So when you're asking questions, those would fall into, that category of not assessing blame. It's not easy. The most important thing is to accept personal responsibility, and I was well into my 30s, 40s, and 40s before, and 50s before I really got that message loud and clear. And now I'm pretty good about not doing that. And the final thing that I want to tell you is that, Creator, Source, our God, our divine being that's with us always, brings you what you need. It doesn't seem like what you want when you get it. I may have asked for a dream, and what I get over the next 10 years is absolutely, even up to now, it's absolutely a dream come true, but I would not have admitted that within those first years of really struggling to integrate my soul. And so that's your soul always takes a higher path, always has a higher goal and way of thinking. It's aiming towards your authentic, true soul self, to integrate that with who you are so that you can operate on a really truthful, authentic way. And the human has its stories, its misbeliefs, its false conceptions, the things that it believes because of, the constraints of growing up, the family that you grew into, and a family, is eons and generations old. So you just need to know that. When we get into chapter 3, and I begin this, this is where the part of me that knows that I have to do this thing because I've been given this set of instructions that it seems like I'm the one that wrote. And so, at that, in the early stages, I literally knew nothing, except what I'd read or people had shared with me, and some, brief encounters that I'd had. But I had early experiences in childhood that my mother would tell you, she didn't know. She would ask me, how do you know that? And without knowing, and I knew without knowing how I knew. For example, and now I tell my clients, this, when we're talking about health matters, said this body is designed to last 150 years old. And they would ask, how do you know that? And my mom, back when I was young, said, how do you know that? But I always, when I thought back on this and look back to that, I thought it common knowledge. I thought everyone knew that this was just a fact. Now there's a lot of intervening factors, the toxic things that we ingest, the lack of nutrition, healthy nutrition, the depleted soils and chemicals and things. So, so there's lots of, in our thoughts, our thoughts interfere too. So there's lots and lots of things that interrupt with that. So clearly, I am someone who was designed to go through what I've gone through so that I can help you. And if you get the opportunity, go back to the first, pick a topic that suits your needs, but go back to those first 32 or 33 videos and just look at something there. And that's the reason I know what I know, is because of what I've been through, and that's what the telling of my story is all about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be trying to get far enough ahead, since I got behind the 8-ball here on getting this going and really know where it was leading. I had to repeat and replace some things. So I'm a little bit behind, but I hope to get ahead on the chapters. And my goal is to give you a chapter or a continued chapter Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday to give you this kind of a review or my uptake on what the lessons might be in it. I really appreciate you being here. Please like and subscribe, get the word out. I'm here for you, and if you want to know more about me, it's down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, I want you to know I love you this much, and I hope that you remain safe, that you're happy, healthy, whole, and complete, and I will see you on the next video.